Hello and welcome back to Visit Fylde Coast. I promised you a few weeks ago, that I would do you a video in our garden, so that's what I'm going to do. It's a very little garden, so it might be a very little video. But we'll see how we go along, and I'll show you around. I'll show you around the things that we've been doing this year. So before we set off on our 2 and 6 penny tour of the bumblebees, I don't know whether you can hear them at the back of me, they're making quite a noise. I just need to remind you that first of all you need to subscribe. You need to make sure that you've got all of your notifications enabled, and you need to sign up for your Visit Fylde Coast email newsletter. So you can get that at visitfyldecoast.info/newsletter. Right, let's have a look, shall we? Let's see what's to do. So this is where I keep doing my little films from. This time last year, this was our fish pond, and as you can see, it's fish ponded off. So this is one end of the front wall, and just at the back of that plant pot there is the other end of the front wall. So we've rehomed the fish. They've gone to a much better place where apparently they're very happy and they're very, very pleased and being fed by hand and all kinds of things. So these hydrangeas, I've never been a big fan of hydrangeas, but these hydrangeas were all at the other side of this trellis in a little garden that we've got round there. So we've moved them all and put them all round here, which this side is north facing, so it's in the sun a little bit now, but later on today it goes out of the sun. And Kevin's built me what we call affectionately a coffin. So underneath there, you can't see it so much because it's pretty much covered up with plants. Underneath there is a big wooden box, which these are mostly planted in. This white one here is my favourite. I love that one. That came from my grandma's, that one did, and we've got loads of little cuttings. So since I've potted them up in this coffin, they've all come on at a pace. They look lovely. This one at the back here, when it started to come into flower, was an absolute picture. So these are my matching mum and dad benches. So we bought this one when Chrissy died. So that's Chrissy's bench. And my dad bought me this one this year for my birthday. So that's Derek's bench. And these, has anybody got one of these? Has anybody got one of these? This little stool, we reckon must be probably 100 years old-ish, maybe a little bit less, 80, 100 years. That was my granddad's. And he used to sit on that to chop sticks, and you can see all the cracks in it. Look here where he's gone a bit carried away. And T-Boy's just painted that. That's why it's stood on a little bit of cardboard. It's been drying. It's probably stuck. In fact, let's have a look, see if it is. Let's see if it's. Oh, it's not. It's not too bad. Right, we'll get rid of the bit of cardboard, shall we? So that little chair, that little blue one. Did you in the 1970s? They were selling off all the old school chairs. Can you remember? And we got that one, which was also my granddad's little chair. And we had a little one that was smaller than that. And I've no idea where that went. And it's got to be 80 years old. So this is my sunbathing corner with all my Jane knickknacks on it and my little bits of ornaments and stuff. And yes, that's a fine fair panel from Wilko in Blackpool. This is a concrete gap. Kevin's just done this weekend, hence why we've still got some little bits of rubbish all over. Look at the JK&D 2024. That's us immortalised. So that's why I've got pots on there, because it's like just a concrete gap. So I've got loads of bits and bobs and plants and stuff and tranquilments. And it's all full of memories and people and friends and family. So this little bit of grass here, this is my mini meadow, as I call it. And this time last year, that was actually a flat lawn. So I started off by cutting the middle out of it. So in the middle, somewhere round about there, I've actually built a sort of a flower bed. Not that you can see it. So there's some achilles and that's another one. That's a cornflower, an echinacea. So I've put some perennials in the middle, and then planted loads of wildflowers and all kinds of stuff around the edge, and just left it. So this is knapweed, which you would traditionally call a weed, and this is cornflower. So I got these earlier this year as some plug plants. They have been absolutely full of bees every bit of the summer. You can see them all over. It's been an absolute joy to watch. Look at this one here. Let me see if I can hold the flower still while I get him in focus. And there's just a bit of everything. There's bits of birdseed growing. I think this is flax that's come out of the birdseed. I've got everything in its auntie in here. This looks like rapeseed or cabbage or something that's growing. And this is rape, I would have said. And this is my little area where I grow my wild flowers. So the other day, this is where I feed home of this. The other day I was stood watching the bees and whatnot, and all at once a frog leapfrogged from here straight into the pond. Here he comes, look. Star of stage, screen and radio. You going to say hello? Eh? Say hello. Hello, Homer. So this is my little pond. This is my little wildlife pond, and it's absolutely full of wildlife. It wants filling up, I think, looking at it. I've had a pond pretty much all my adult life, and I never knew until recently that pondweed flowered. Can you see these little white flowers? Never knew that they did that, and I've had loads of pond skaters. Can you see that one? Jumping. Loads of pond skaters. They've been absolutely full of flowers. So that is just a tangle of plants and frogs and frog spawn and you name it, we've got one. So some might look at it and think it's an absolute pigsty. And I have had such a lot of pleasure out of watching it. It's got some bedding plants. The garden's been absolutely full of bees all summer. I've not had hardly many butterflies at all. But the bees, honestly, they've been endless. There's another one there, look. That looks like a honeybee. That one does. And this is sea kale. So you'll see this growing on the beach. And it's short and squat and tight and compact on the beach. And I planted mine in the corner down at the bottom of the garden, which I think was a schoolgirl error. So I've dug it up and potted it in this pot, which has made it sort of dry and hot and sunny. So you can see all this lovely new growth that's coming on it. Don't take it off the beach. I bought that in a garden centre. This is borage. This has been full of bees. And this is my silver wedding rose that Kevin bought me for our silver wedding anniversary. It's lovely, beautiful rose. This is a lovely rose. It's not got any flowers on it at the minute. This one is one of my mum's golden wedding roses. And this is another one. This is the one that our pal Brenda bought her. And that's a pretty one. This one is another one of my mum's golden wedding roses, but you can see it's thinking about flowering again and not come out. So I've got sunflowers. Here we go, look, that one's taller than me. In fact, it's probably about 6 inches below the soil, and I'm sort of 5'6"-ish. So I reckon they've got to be thick end of 8 foot. Oh, here's another bee, look, can you see it? These are being full of bees. So I've got a bit of everything. I've got bedding plants, I've got perennials, I've got some verbena venariensis, I think it's called. That used to be all the rage at one time. I'd never had any until this year. I've got little bits of plastic seaside rubbish. I've got everything. That's fennel, this one, which I think is quite pretty. And this is a plant pot that I brought from Yorkshire when we lived over there. So this plant pot, I've had donkey's years. You see by the state of it. And it was full of these when I brought it. So that's eucalyptus. And it's not a very nice smell. It's like a pineapple. So that's the last one. That used to be full of them. So that's the last one in that pot, which has seeded itself over here. So they're growing down here. And I've got poppies. I've got poppies growing in that one. Look at, they're lovely, aren't they? And I've also got a bean. Do you like my bean? Oh, look, I'm going to have a harvest festival. Harvest festival. So Cole made a Philistine, but I've planted clover seeds in my lawn. So this little bit of path is relatively new to the shed. Kevin's done that in the last few weeks. So before that, we'd just got like a track. So I've stopped cutting this grass and I'm wilding it. So I've got lots of little flowers coming up and geraniums and all sorts of things growing in the edge. And I'm just leaving it to go natural. So I've put some clover seeds down and we'll see what happens. We trimmed this. This is a bay tree, believe it or not. And this I bought in a plastic bag from Morrison's as one of them little tiny plants that you can get, you know, like about that sort of size. And it's enormous. We've cut a ton off it this weekend. I just like the overgrown look, as you can tell. And our shed was made with lengths of wood that we fetched off the Riverdance ferry when it crashed. And this is a bird's nest, look, that we fished out of the undergrowth underneath here. There's a bird box on the wall, and you can just see it there. They'd built it on top of that. This is Mucky Corner, where we keep all our plant pots. Another bit of Grandma's hydrangea. Another hydrangea. Got hydrangeas coming out the top of my head. And this is my little wild corner. So this is an allium, which I'm just waiting for it to come into flower. I think they're lovely, I like alliums. So it's an onion family. And these are leeks. So I'm a bit disappointed because I thought these were going to be white. And they've actually got a bit of a pinky purpley cast to them. First time I've ever had one of them. I think it's called Cerinthe. And it's had a really beautiful purple flower on it. And it looks as if it's starting to go to seed. Oh, look, it's got seeds underneath. Huh? Never seen them before. Never had one, so I'm not likely to, am I? Can hear something moving in the undergrowth. And this is Messy Corner. So the next part of our job is to turn this corner into a seating area. So we're going to put a bench here with a bit of an archy type thing over the top, with a strong enough top for Kevin to stand on and trim the hedge. So we've got teasels that grow themselves. We've got all kinds of stuff. We've got a bit of everything in this garden. And it's all shoved in. It's got that sort of slightly going over its best look at the minute. Because it's been warm and it's getting to the sort of end of summer. Get these two little buzzy bees. Do you know, it's been absolutely full of bees, my garden. Lovely, aren't they? So you've got to have a chat to them and talk to them. So there you go. That's rabbit towers. That's the rough guide to rabbit towers. That sounds like a pigeon. Homer's gone. He's got fed up waiting for me. And that's our massive garden. These little chairs are good as well. I got them from Asda, the kids' chairs. And this is a bag of Kevin's rubbish. He needs to go to the skip. And these are my pebbles, which are going on top of my plant pots. Bought from Builder's Supplies, as was. So I hope you've enjoyed that little look around. I promised you a look round rabbit towers. So when we do the thing down there, I'll update you. I'll update you and keep you up to date. So until next time, hope you've enjoyed that little look round. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye for now.